When I start walking, when I do my jogging, I always think about my HEEL. It's bringing my HEALING. With each step that we take, our healing is coming. Look, I'm going to take shape. And that's how it is when we are in the faith, when we just trust God and move and exercise our faith.
Yeah.
When we move and exercise in fitness, we see the manifestation. So guess what? We don't have to bombard heaven about the things pertaining to our health. Why? Because
Thank you all for being a part of this new podcast. I don't know. Thank you for being a part of the podcast. Welcome to His Wife, Her Husband.
I am SHEMIKA, his wife,
I am Patrick, her husband. Our purpose is to help you build
and sustain your marriage.
from a biblical perspective.
Booyah.
So we are doing everything we can to answer as many questions as we can concerning marriage, concerning relationship, and it's all from a biblical perspective. As believers in Yeshua, we get our cues and our thoughts and our um, way of doing things from the teachings of Christ. So that's what this channel is for. It is for giving you a solution, maybe not the solution. It may not be the solution for you, or it could be a solution, maybe something that you haven't tried to help build and to sustain your marriage. That means you're in a good spot with your marriage. There's nothing wrong. Or I mean, build meaning you're in the beginning stage of your marriage, or you're rebuilding your marriage and you're trying to get your marriage to a good place, or to sustain your marriage. In other words, everything's going well. This is just formality. You have to go get the oil change every 3,000 miles. You know what I'm saying, or 3 months, whichever go first. And so it's just part of what we're trying to do to
It's a part
help
of
those
tending well.
tending well to your marriage. Amen. So
To be a good steward. That's good. You have
yeah.
to be a good steward. I think a lot of times we forget that the like marriage, parenting, um, spiritual care, meaning our relationship with the Lord, all of that requires good stewardship,
Yeah.
tending, and even to oneself, and not self care like just going on a shopping spree, but like self care meaning that you are doing the things to help you maintain a healthy life, you know?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that helps in marriage as well. Maintaining your health. So we're not talking about, having the perfect figure or the perfect biceps or anything, but the right foods, the right amount of water. For me, my I guess my Achilles heel is the right amount of rest, proper diet, proper exercise. I just know. Let me throw this out here. When my wife, that was a bus. I'm backing up. Boo, boo. When my wife is consistent on just the exercise part, she is a lot creative. She's a lot more creative. Um, she's a lot more easygoing. Like nothing,
Not anxious, not
nothing.
easily
Yeah,
flustered.
not easy offended. Like what I'm saying. It's just
That's good,
so.
Pat.
So when and that's just me looking at her. I think for me, when I'm getting the right
Rest.
exercise and rest,
Hmm.
I'm a little more patient. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? With those who I interact with on a regular basis. So, let's say that's a part of the marriage that helps the marriage.
Hmm.
Um, Even for me, I just say me when I'm really doing my exercise, I feel like I feel good. You know what I'm saying? I
Hmm.
feel
Your
sexy. You
esteem
know what I'm
is
saying?
high. I mean,
Yeah.
you just think about it, because the way it's wired, like the endorphins gonna come out, the all of the hormones, everything is gonna balance. The dopamine, everything is gonna flow and function as it
Hmm.
should. And so when we do that, it shows up. And so then we're not prone to depression. We're not prone to anxieties and fears. Oh, stop it. Okay, I'm going to stop it. Sometimes I be singing my words, and y'all, Patrick could just laugh because I get
It's okay. I
annoyed
think I
by
do it too.
singing words.
It's
Like, just
okay.
say the word. Like, okay, but yeah. But I be trying to get my thoughts together
Right. It's
sometimes.
okay. I just
But
it's being
yeah,
funny.
I know that one of the things that how my mind is wired is that I am so fascinated, like with words and stuff. But I know a lot of times in the church, we have a tendency to pray and ask the Lord for healing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with HEALING, meaning that He is the
Okay.
God that
Mm-hmm.
heals us. HEALS. However, He
How you
has,
spelling it?
because I'm going somewhere, just ride with
Okay.
me.
Gotcha.
All right. However, you put your seatbelt on.
Gotcha. Belt on.
However, I believe that the Lord has so miraculously wired us that if we do our part, our healing will manifest. It will come as it should, when it should. And so, one of the things that I am often, like I often remind myself, and mind you, I am not perfect at this, but when I do it, I always think about when I take steps, when I start walking on a regular basis, like for exercise or when I do my jogging, I always think about my HEEL. It's bringing my HEALING.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
So, with each step that we take, our healing is coming. The weight fall off, the bad feelings fly away. I start to
Mm-hmm.
feel good about myself. Then, and look, I'm going to take shape. And that's how it is when we are in the faith, when we just trust God
That's
and
good.
move and exercise our faith.
Yeah.
When we move and exercise in fitness, we see the manifestation. So, guess what? We don't have to bombard heaven about
Mm-hmm.
the things pertaining to our health. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because we've done our part
Right.
as far as taking the necessary steps. Did you catch that? Taking the necessary steps to bring about that better way of living, that better life, that mindset. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's my rebuke to myself. And that's something that the word of God says that it's for correction and reproof. So when you get in it, know that it's gonna come for you. It's a two-edged sword. That's
Yeah.
not to chop somebody else two times. That's one side for you and one side for somebody else. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing that I do love about the Lord. He's not just poking and prodding just on to one person. Whatever He asks us to do, He has already done.
Mm-hmm.
He took the steps, the necessary steps to ensure that we could have authority over our physical, authority over our mental health, authority over our emotional health, authority over our spiritual, relational, financial, whatever it is that is functioning in the earth. He has given us everything pertaining to life and godliness to experience good success.
Correct.
So let's take the necessary steps.
Right.
Let's move our HEELS to get our HEALING.
That's good.
Good
Gotcha.
stuff.
So
Take your
that
seatbelt on.
but that becomes so the topic for today.
Mm-hmm.
The topic for today, we just came from a graduation, and we were thinking because what happens is that when that last child graduates, we have a tendency when that so we've talked to a
Patrick.
lot of we've talked to enough people that when that last child graduates sometimes divorce happens then. And so the,
I was
the
going. Go ahead.
so the thing is, how do we keep the divorce from happening at that 25th year? Typically it's like around the 25th year. How do we keep that from
25th,
happening?
30th, yeah.
So one of the things we just did, because it's a good key piece to helping in the 25 years, but it starts now, which is the healing, the walking, the
Walking together.
walking. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so all of that helps you
Mm-hmm.
because as we get older, we become different. Like we change. She changes, he changes. Women go through like a real physical, chemical
Men,
change.
look,
Yeah, we go
pause.
through it
Men
because
do
y'all going
too.
through it.
Get it?
So listen,
Pause. Men do too.
yeah.
Get it? Menopause. I know.
All right, I'm good.
Yeah.
So but what Shamika just said, I believe it doesn't seem like it does, but I believe that helps in the long run because we're both taking care of ourselves. And if she said walking together, we're both taking care of ourselves, which means by the time we get to that point, we are in a better mental,
In a
physical,
better
emotional
headspace. Yes.
space to deal
Hmm.
with the next turn in the marriage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That is
saying?
so true.
The
Yes.
children, all children at some point will leave the nest egg.
They
They should.
grow and go.
And when that happens, that's a new turn in the marriage. My fault, I missed it. That's a new turn in it. Okay. There's a new turn in the marriage, and you have to be prepared for that. So what Shamika just gave is gradual, long-term advice to help at that point. Here's the thing, and this is what we're going to tackle. The graduation period. Here's what happens. You wake up after 25 years, parents are deceased. Um,
Or maybe,
people
or,
have
or maybe the parents may be aging.
parents are deceased or aging. Yeah, they
If
need they
like it
need
just look
they
different.
need childlike care at an older
They
age,
need a different
possibly.
care. Yeah. The
Maybe
roles reverse.
maybe you have retired
Mhm.
and there aren't any children in the house.
Mhm.
So now all that's left in the house is me, and if you're not careful, doing the things that Shamika just said, now all that's left in the house is me and this stranger.
Me and the enemy.
Right. Me and this stranger because I don't know who she's become. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't know who he's become, and therefore they don't like their spouse anymore. And at that point, they are not in a point in their life where they are willing to even change. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
anyway.
So, you think about graduation. So, graduation signifies promotion. It signifies developmental growth.
Hmm.
Like I say, it signifies growth, maturity, and usually when you say graduation, you automatically think about your educational endeavor, your academic career, right? Either you're being promoted, you're going to the next level, you're going to the next grade, or you're going to go after another degree, or whatever the case may be. But anyway, you have accomplished something,
Hmm.
which means that the fact that you're receiving a certificate or whatever the case may be, that means that you met all of the necessary requirements that came with achieving that level of success. I believe that a lot of times we get so centered on, and this is from my own personal story. We get so centered on the educational success that we have a tendency to forget that, wait, I'm growing too. That
Hmm.
I'm centering or I'm focusing in on the success of our children or each child at their juncture, making sure that their paperwork is done, they receive grant scholarship, that they were able to acquire whatever it is to go to the next level
Hmm.
in life. But again, you have a tendency to forget
Yeah.
that I'm growing too. Like the mother that I was when they started school, I was no longer there when they finished high school
Right.
or even college now is in my repertoire. I like that word repertoire. Anyway, the, nevertheless, when one person graduates or matures, you are too.
Hmm.
However, sometimes, and this is the part that I wish someone had a turn back to say it, I heard about empty nesting, but I didn't understand what all was involved in it. And so I told Patrick that I would like to share I would like for us to share the things that we have learned because when you think about um, that again, that graduation, you are changing too. Things are not going to look the way they used to. I mean, like the landscape, the home landscape is going to change and shift. You have to readjust and adapt. Why? Because the child that once needed you to give you school supplies and you needed to get up to get ready for school, like your worth and value was encompassed in making sure that they had everything that they need to experience success. And again, we were experiencing success as well, because guess what, we were maturing, we were learning what it meant to sacrifice and put aside personal endeavors to make sure that they had what they needed. But then when it comes time to the graduation, it's like, whoa, wow.
Hmm.
So yes, they experiencing success, because when our children experience success, we do too. But then there are also attached to their success is a level of loss and sadness. Why? Because they getting ready to go off to school, or they getting ready to go off to their own apartment or whatever the case. Like they may be relocating,
Hmm.
especially the ones that are graduating from college. They may have chosen to stay home from at high school, and now they're in school, a college or a university, and now their job opportunity is maybe outside of the city or state.
Hmm.
And so you have to adjust and adapt to those things. But anyway, there is a form of grief and loss, not in a bad way, but just when it no longer looks the way that it
But
used
but
to.
but also in a bad way. Let me whatever
Hmm.
role I'm about to play to
It's
bring out
okay.
that part
It's okay.
is that
Hmm.
it can be in a bad way because throughout the years everything has been centered around making sure that the child graduates. Whatever
Hmm.
whatever you needed, books and school and pencils and everything and practices
Clothing and
and
getting them
games
there,
and
and
whatever the case may be. And
yeah,
yeah,
cheering
yeah,
them on.
you take them you take them to school. I'll pick them up, and there could be also so there is a good thing, then there is sadness, and then there I think another emotion is fear, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, or people probably know, man, they probably know they don't really, they're already in a place in their marriage where they don't like, they're not vibing with their spouse.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the fear is once,
Once yes, the thing, the one, once the children, the ones that kept us together is no
or
longer
just
there.
kept me in, yeah, kept, well, when you say
Hmm.
together, what do you mean by together?
Meaning that this was the one thing that we had in common. Like we already probably were not vibing or whatever the
Correct.
case may be, but we decided to stick it out for the children or for the child.
Yeah.
Now that the child is gone, it's kind of like, oh wow, well,
And then there are some,
I think that's where
I
you were
believe
going.
that there are some couples who are just waiting it out.
Jesus.
And for them, they're waiting for graduation as well. Because in their mind, they want to graduate from this marriage. So my question, or the thing I want to help the couple, hopefully, is not to graduate from your marriage. You know what I'm saying? Or not to graduate from your marriage, but to graduate in your marriage. So what are the things
And
that can be done to help when we find ourselves with no children in the house? Because the truth be told, I mean, I think we're doing a good job of our date day, whatever case may be, our date day, but there's going to be a time where we don't even have college children in the house. Like right now, we got college children. And sometimes we get home and be like, whoa, it's quiet in here. But they're just gone with their boyfriends or girlfriends or whatever, doing a thing or at work. And then, but there's going to come a point where we don't even have the two younger ones coming home from work or
together.
coming home for children.
Huh?
So, I mean, coming home from children, coming home from school.
Uh-huh.
So, we also will be facing a different
A
dynamic.
different
And
quietness, a
so,
different energy. Yeah,
yeah, so
that's good.
when the children graduate, how can the couples graduate in the marriage as well and not drop out?
Well, now guess what, Patrick? I figured you was gonna ask that, and I did write down a couple of notes. But I did want to say too that okay, we're gonna go into the marriage part, but I did want to give the heads up to parents that now that your children are graduating, that this is now a period of adjusting to this is a period of readjusting to and properly assisting your children for this juncture of wherever they are. So what I mean is that it may not look like how you are used to it looking like. That doesn't mean that your child does not need you. They may not need you to call every single day, but they still need to know that you love and you care. You have to figure that out.
Don't call your children every day when they're in college. They're not gonna
Yeah,
answer the
no.
phone.
But then by the same token,
Just
you will know when
right.
you need to hear that child's voice. You will know that press. And so just we can't neglect just because it doesn't look the way we want it to look. That's the point that I'm trying to make. And whether it is a healthy or unhealthy, because when children get to a place of accountability, they really can live their life how they choose to.
Yeah.
And that's the part that was, I mean, that was like shocking to me. And so just know that if you have deposited the if you have deposited right in them, righteousness in them,
Hmm.
God in them, you have to trust the process. This is where you now your faith has to kick in to say, I did my part.
Hmm.
And it's like, it's what comes to my mind is like the cooking channel, the cooking network, when they give you so many minutes in order for you to cook a dish, and then they'll say time, and you have to
Hmm.
take your hands off the utensils. It doesn't matter what's prepared on that plate or not, but you have to go all in considering the amount of time that you have, because I know my time is limited. Parent your children well,
Hmm.
because you don't know. And should they take a road or trajectory that you didn't foresee, or that you wouldn't wish for them, you have to now talk to the heavenly Father more about your children than to your children about themselves,
Hmm.
about them. This is where your relationship with the Lord will grow and begin to thrive, because he do want to hear from you. They may not want to, but he wants to hear from you. So begin to pray. All right.
Here's the thing, and all of us know this because we've been that adult child. We didn't want to hear
I
mama.
was
We didn't want to hear
I
from
was
from mom or dad anymore. You
I
know what I'm
was a
saying?
good girl.
Right. Um,
No lightning.
so,
Yes,
so
Lord.
that's again. So here's the thing. Then that means there are two areas in my life where I can't control, because I can't control my young adult child
Mm-hmm.
anymore, and my spouse won't let me control them. You know what I'm saying? And they are older or more stubborn, or what's your word, cantankerous. You know what I'm saying? And so now there's a loss of who am I, and who have I become, and who am I now in this process. You feel what I'm saying? So I think that's a tough part of marriage that I don't think no one really thinks about. At some point, you're not gonna have. Here's the thing, and I hope this is not me being redundant. You're not gonna have the child there anymore, and you miss seeing who your spouse became.
Jesus.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's
Because
so
I
true.
was so wrapped up, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do for your children, but I'm so wrapped up in the children that when they graduated, I lost my spouse in the process too, because I didn't grow with them, learning who they became.
And and what come to my mind too is that you gave it all to the child.
Mhm.
You gave
Mhm.
all of you. And not saying that you're not supposed to care. Well, again, it's a balanced blend. You have to balance life and blend it in. And that doesn't mean that sometimes you won't misstep, or
Mhm.
you won't, kind of fumble or kind of teeter. But at the end of the day, it's like, Lord, help keep me from falling. Help me to be able to keep it together, because my child does need my care, but my husband does too, or my wife needs me too.
Yeah.
And so it's being able to steward well all that God has given you, because uh, being negligent is not up for it.
Hmm.
That's not an option.
Hmm. I want to say something because she said something about the children. I'm just going to take the first part of this verse, um, Hebrews 11, verse. I said, where are my glasses? I got them on. Hebrews 11, verse 39. This is the NLT version. It says, all these people earned a good reputation because of their faith, yet none of them received all that God has promised. Now, here's the thing. It's not that what you instilled in your children won't happen. It's just, here's the faith part. You just have to believe, whether you hear or not, that it will happen, especially if this is what God has instructed you to do. And you have poured into your child the righteousness, the right way, and the things of God. And maybe they've veered off and started believing something else. And
Or doing something,
yeah,
or just doing totally
right.
opposite. Yeah.
So maybe I want to go with believing something different than
Hmm.
what you've taught them.
Okay.
And there's this constant battle between what you've taught them, the truth about God from a young age, up into this young adult graduating from high school and college. And college is when they get those particular people in their lives, and they begin. And I don't think God has a problem with you questioning, having questions about faith. But this is the point where they kind of like, hey man, I want to do something different. You have to have the faith in God that what you've put in your children at some point will come back around. Like they'll get back on track. Um, the thing is, you may not see it in your time. Like these people in this, whatever promise that they had, they died before seeing it. But
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 their
but the
prayers
promise,
didn't,
but the promise,
and the promise
but the
didn't.
promise did. The promise did come to pass. So
Facts.
for us as parents, watching our children graduate, not really seeing what we've put in them, we cannot lose faith. We can't lose hope. We can't lose hope. We can't lose faith. We can't lose love. So you can't lose faith in what you put in them. It's just this is the journey that they've taken, and they have the free will to do that. I don't know how God does weave in the sovereignty with our free will, but He has a way of doing it,
He's
and
God.
knowing that at some point the child will come back. In the meantime, here's what's going to happen. We have to figure out again, while that child is graduating, how do I not drop out of marriage, or drop out of them? I'm trying to be deep. How do I not drop out of the school of marriage, or mar- my particular marriage? You feel what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So what are some what are some, say what you said, you knew I was going to go that way.
I thought I
Let's go
wrote it
there.
down, but I didn't. But anyway, I did write down that we have to make sure that we create and cultivate a healthy, stable marriage because the children move on.
Mm.
And I think that that reality needs to sink in. Like we have our children to help them grow and go.
Hmm.
If a child is staying and now they healthy, now they able bodied, stable.
Able-minded.
Look, come on.
Hmm.
If you still coddling and holding and burping your 70, 60-year old child, look, that's a problem. That is not healthy for you to be carrying them around. So now those are the things that we have to step back and say, okay, let me reassess and do this quickly. Because now that means that just like that umbilical cord, now when we were mothers, we were the source of our children's nourishment and nurture. And so that umbilical cord attached that child to its mother. A
Hmm.
mother is a source. But when that child, when it came time for delivery day or the birthday, guess what? It was some cutting away that happened.
Hmm.
Now that does not mean that the mother and the child stopped, their bond stopped. That meant that the way I used to feed you and care for you, it changes. And that same thing continues to happen throughout a child's life or an individual's life. But the only difference is that it's not a tangible umbilical cord. It is an invisible cord. And
Hmm.
we have to cut them to let them do what?
Go.
Grow and go. And when we cut, guess what? They grow. They grow, and then guess what? They go. So anyway, so some of the things that came to my mind, Patrick, as far as creating and cultivating a healthy, stable marriage, is to continue to do those things that you did. This is the part that
That you did what? What you mean?
I'm
That you
sorry,
did?
that you did before you met or when you met and when you got married. Not like when you first the beginning stages, right?
Okay.
And so
Talking about doing the dating
doing the
part.
dating,
Okay.
the dating, betrothal, and we call it engagement now. The engagement phase, the date. Let me go back. The dating phase. Let me go back. Even before dating, that ooh phase. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Like they just at a place and you be like, ooh, okay, I see you, I like you, you know.
Okay. Gotcha.
So whatever. Anyway, so that attractive phase,
Okay.
that intriguing phase.
So
Um,
this is not. So you're talking about someone I'm working with, because
well,
how do I
wait,
go through
wait,
a
wait, wait,
oof
wait, 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 wait.
phase
So
if
so
I meet them
listen,
at the Mirage? I don't. There's no oof phase.
you
Phase.
didn't marry. No, I'm talking about me. Don't bring somebody else about the Mirage. We didn't go to the Mirage together,
Yeah.
so don't bring the club up.
No, but it's a realistic thing. People meet people at the club. So how do they have
Okay.
a ooh like
So the reason why
phase?
okay, no. So the thing is before you got married, the
Mm-hmm.
point I'm trying to make is before you got married, when you saw them at the club,
Okay.
there was like you getting ready, like you made sure that you were attractive and you looked
I
good and
got
you
you.
smelled good and
Gotcha.
you did the things to win
To get the
the attention.
attention
Yeah, yeah,
of somebody, because
correct.
that's why
That was
you went to the
before.
club.
That was before.
So
Right.
so 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 let me try to steal your thunder just a little bit.
That's good. Now help me out.
You're saying while we're growing and going with the children,
Mm-hmm.
continue to do. That's a good question. Are you still doing the things?
The ooh factor. Yes. Are you make like for
Are you still
real?
doing the things you were doing before marriage? Oh, that's good. Before marriage settled.
Yes,
You feel what I'm
and
saying? So
yes,
that's what you're saying, right?
yeah, correct.
Okay.
That is it. Now, Patrick says this often. Well, maybe you say this often. That who I was, I'm no longer her. Like I'm still her, but the things that I used to like, I don't like anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But the point that we're trying to make, or I'm trying to bring home, is that you still should be trying to win the
That's
attention
good. I like
of
that.
your
I
spouse.
like that.
Make him or her go, oh, wait, let me call Lynn. Hold on a minute. It's going to be a minute. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Okay.
I got excited.
That's I see.
Okay, but
All
anyway.
right.
But
All right, y'all. Thank y'all. We
we'll be
appreciate it.
back. Okay, we back.
We'll be
Okay.
back in two and two. So,
But, okay. But yes, it's
all right. So
those
hold on.
things. So
Could
it's
you
the
you say
attention.
you know who I am.
That's
You know who
good.
I
That's
am.
good. Yes.
I'm not attracted to my spouse anymore.
Mercy, Pat. Okay, so now
Like these are like I want to hit
they
the
are
real
real.
issues.
Okay, so now
I'm not
wait,
attracted to my spouse
wait.
anymore.
Okay, wait. Before you get to the place of I'm not attractive anymore.
We're there.
I'm not attracted.
We're there now.
Hold on, Pastor Pat. Now hold on, Pat. But before you get there, if you are in the building phase and you still in the ooh and ah, like I admonish you to continue to make sure that you grab the attention of your spouse.
Good. Say it again for the people in the back.
I want to admonish you if you are currently there in a good space with your
In the building,
spouse.
in the yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're in the building phase. Continue to win the attention of your spouse. Don't take that for granted. Get up each day. Go to bed each night. Like constantly making him remember why he chose you.
Yeah.
Why he why I'm pretty sure that he had many to choose from, but he chose you. And help him to remember why he said yes.
That's
Don't
fun.
make
Now
it.
that's a good because the person who did this painting behind us, his name is Kevin Claxton, dope artist. He says it all the time too. That the husband's job is to remind her why she chose him. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying?
Facts.
Because she could have had anybody,
Anybody.
and she chose you. So
Yes.
spend creating an atmosphere. This is my philosophy. For the next 25, 30, 40, 50 years, how do I create an atmosphere of intimacy for my wife? You know what I'm saying? And that becomes, listen, that becomes a lifelong goal. When you said I do, you supposedly you said it for forever. Here's the lifelong goal, in my opinion, husbands. Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? Let's, like, how do I create this? Now I know she crazy, right? She crazy. Like, this statements I get.
And
But
things
she
really
crazy,
do
man.
have.
She this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, but what do I do to create this lifelong goal of recreating an atmosphere of intimacy for me and my spouse? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now,
Going back to the question. Look at you, ain't
what's
forgot
the
it.
question? The person they don't like their spouse. What do I do? Because the children graduating and I see it, and it's just, I'm be stuck with this joker, and
Mercy.
he getting on my nerve. Like, I don't. He just don't do it for me no more. That's what she's saying,
Mm.
man. She ain't like, no, she not the cheerleader size you met anymore. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
Wow. Mm-hmm.
it's not that. What do I do at that point? Go.
At that point, now think about it.
That's a tough one.
That is, at this point, this is a tough place, but this is where you have to have that tough conversation with yourself
Hmm.
because
What am I saying?
I'm getting ready to go.
Oh, okay,
I'm
my
getting ready to
fault.
tell you, get on
You
the
said because,
bus.
like I thought you were finna go a different direction. What's
You
the
have
tough conversation?
you have to have a tough conversation with yourself that, okay, now girl, this is it. You chose him. This is who I'm with. He don't pay any attention to me. He don't touch me the same. He don't
Deep.
call me.
That's
He
deep.
don't care. He don't none of that anymore.
Mhm.
He has checked out and been checked out for a long time.
Mhm.
So this is the part where you have to say, okay, what do I do? Have a tough conversation? Do I stay?
No, we're staying. So
Okay, we
we're
stand.
staying. It's
Okay,
no
okay, fine.
abuse. There's no
Okay,
abuse.
there's no abuse. Okay.
All right, we're staying.
So now it is, how can I communicate or reignite this passion or love in this marriage?
And what would be some examples?
Some example is, first, I would say the first week or two, possibly the month, you will probably need to study him well. Study him or her well to find out what are their likes or dislikes.
Mhm.
Is it possible for us to get it going, to start afresh again? Can
To
we start
rekindle.
from right here again?
Right.
I know that we've been married for 30 years and 20 of them were good, and then 10 has been like horrible.
Mhm.
But if you have more good than bad, then hold on to that. Then I understand, because I know how Patrick thinks, you may have more
You don't know
bad
how I
than
think.
good. But that does not mean that you cannot experience a better, better years or days if you don't take the time out to do your part. So what I don't know if I said that right, but
Mhm.
what's coming to my mind is Patrick always say, this is where, to me, this is where that fraction 100 comes into play.
That's good.
That means I'm going to do my part to give 100 and expect nothing from you. But I do know that God has wired humans to respond to love.
Mhm.
I do know that. Now, whether they respond healthily or not, that's something different. But I do know that we know how to respond to care and to nurture, to love. We know how to do that. So this is where it kicks in, where you have to put your boxing gloves on, not to fight with him, but to fight for him
And vice versa.
and
Not
to
to
fight for
with.
her.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Right. Mhm.
This is not for fighting, but this is like, this is where we say, I'm fighting for my marriage.
Right.
I don't know when it will turn around, but I believe that it can and it will turn around when I do my part. My part is to do 100 and expect nothing from him or her.
So when we say, so where did we get that from? Darren Hardy. It
Hmm.
was a book. I think it was a book by Darren Hardy called The Compound Effect, and he was giving advice to his friend. He was losing his marriage, and he told him to give 100% and expect zero. So now when we say that, because people take sound bites and they just take and run with it, because I'm probably gonna use it as a sound bite. Um, we're not saying that you don't look for a return. You know what I'm saying? We're just saying I'm gonna give it everything. I'm not worried about whether they if they give or not.
Yeah,
I'm
if
gonna
they if
go
if they
into it.
give it back right then in a
Yeah,
way,
I'm gonna
because
give 100%. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping for a return,
hmm
but at this point, I can't worry about what you will or won't do.
I just want to
I
make
just
sure
want
I'm
to do
doing my
100.
part.
Right.
Yes, you do your part.
So now
Yeah.
that's not a far fetched concept when I say that, because I did that. Like I did it. For me, it worked. I'm sorry. For me, it worked. Um,
Drop the mic.
Drop the mic. I don't know what will be for your marriage. What we are saying is, if it's a possibility, fight for it. Do that before the children graduate. You feel what I'm saying?
And to do what Patrick does, even after they graduate. Let's say they graduated and they gone,
Mm-hmm.
but you still know that there's time. Like if there's time and space, utilize it to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
And if you haven't done it in a while, go back and review your vows. It's nothing wrong with that. It's so funny. We'll go back and we review so many things, but we won't review what we said I do to. And isn't it interesting that with our vows, we didn't say, you said it, or what he said, or what she said, or say it again. We say, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do is an action word. I do. Not, I'm going to make sure he do that. We didn't say, we don't, I vow to make sure she do that. No.
Or I'll do when you do.
Yeah.
Right.
You do, I do. We do. No, that's not how
We
that works.
do, because
We
that's what's
do.
gonna hit the fan if you don't.
Come
So
on.
so so one of the things is they don't. So study them out,
Mm-hmm.
because they've changed.
Mm-hmm.
Find out what they love, what they like, what they don't like. Just create an opportunity of looking and figuring out what will um, what their interests are.
And I would say even before you study them, I need you to stay in their place, or I'm not saying stay in a place. I don't mean stay in a place like with the idea of stagnation or being stumped, but definitely stay in a place to have a firm decision. Grab a decision that I'm deciding to stay in it and win it. Like there is no loss.
So so after you finish praying
Mm-hmm.
and asking
And
God for
resolving.
the wisdom,
Yeah. Yeah.
you study, you do the things, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you've done everything possible.
Mm-hmm.
Everything possible.
Mm-hmm.
That he or she can't say, I didn't fight for this marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, I can't force their free will to choose me, but I can make sure I've done everything possible to put myself in the best position for them to choose me.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I got a
yeah.
tough question too.
Okay.
So the place where, let's say you in a place where, and this is coming from a woman's perspective, like he just don't love me.
Mm-hmm.
He don't care anything for me.
Correct.
Uh, his he has different interests, whether it's a job or
Okay.
whatever the case may be. Um, I guess for me, it's like if you are not at peace,
What you mean by at peace?
like there's no peace in the home. Like you hate going home. You have knots in your stomach. You
Okay.
have headaches. Like it's high levels of anxiety and worry. Should you, you know?
So why do I have that? Why does she have that? Like when she's going to, is she's going home to an abuser, or is she just having
He just neglecting
Okay, he's just neglecting, and
hmm
she's having knots
all of like
about
yeah
going back to
she
the house. But again,
hmm
so this is the part where we're talking about. This is the same guy who doesn't have any emotions for his wife.
because
So
you know in
so
some cases
so to go back where we first started with. So what I thought you were going to say. Oh, this is what I meant to say. While you are studying the spouse, work on yourself.
it's good.
You feel what I'm saying? So
Yes.
that goes back to the what do you need to do that brings confidence in you? Is it we go back to the exercising, to the
Eating
eating right,
right.
proper rest, proper diet,
You're
all
going
the
after healthy
being in a good
goals.
space. One of the I did a sermon, becoming your dream, and one of the things was making sure you put the right things in your heart. You can't listen to just anybody. You can't just listen to anything. You can't watch a lot of foolishness about marriage and stuff like that. So for that month, we just threw out a month. We're not saying a month is the right number, but during that time where I'm trying to understand who this new person is, because I miss them becoming who they are. I work on myself as well, so I can be a better me. So at the end, this is everything goes wrong. At the end of the day, if it still splits and they still get divorced, I I walk away still a better me in the process, so that when the next person comes along, I'm a better me for them as well. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm a
No
better
carrying no
me.
baggage, carrying no regret.
Correct.
That's good. Okay.
So hopefully, in the process of me becoming a better me, here's just, I can't say most men, but there are some men. When a woman is exercising regularly and she got her whatever and their sweat and we are visual creatures, we can imagine what that's gonna look like. No, she's not the pom pom squad girl from high school. She's a different girl.
But I
But the
see what you're
fact that
saying.
I
The
see that her, man,
anticipation.
that like, man, I know she been working out. What's going on? Like, babe, I see you been working out. Or, man, who she working out for? You know what I'm saying? And now
That curiosity is gonna
I'm
be
gonna pay a little bit
piqued.
more close attention because she's working out.
She's moving different.
And
Or he's
the
moving
guy
different.
may think, man, I didn't put all this time in. I didn't invest all this for some other dude to get to reap. Until now, he pays a little more attention. You feel what I'm
That's
saying?
good.
Now the flip side is, what does the guy do for the girl who's lost interest? You know what I'm saying?
I would
What
say
does
it,
she
it,
do?
it works both. Again, it's human behavior.
Okay.
It works both ways. It works both ways.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And so even when it comes to like you was just sharing, I believe that men are definitely visual. Not saying that they're not auditory, but like that, like you want to hear "I love you" too,
Hmm.
but you want to see that "I love you."
Correct.
But I would say that when it comes to women, we want to hear it.
Here's
We
the thing.
long to
Oh,
hear.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing about older men. Some older men, real talk. Now, you exercise whatever. That's good. Some older men, because you said we want to see that you love. Some of us don't care about, like, some of us just, bro, I'm not all that whatever BBL, is it BBL, whatever it is, man, I need somebody to help me build an empire. Can you support this vision that I got? You feel what I'm saying? Can we build an empire together? Can we build this Harrington LLC? Like, can what you bring into the table? What you bring into the table to help this thing grow, so that we can do
That's,
things in the earth.
and can I say and still look good doing it?
Yeah, you want. And I'm not saying don't look good. So I'm not saying don't look good. I'm just saying I think for men 50 and older,
It's
bruh,
a different
because
place. Yeah,
because the
you're not the
guys
20
thinking,
year old
listen,
self.
real talk, man, we can get that thing from anywhere.
Mm,
That's not gonna be an issue.
yeah.
50 and older, man, I can get that. I need somebody on my team. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's what. So if you're gonna bring anything to the table, bring a unity of thought.
Yeah.
So even let's just spiritualize it. The church was on one accord. When the church was on one accord, they began to grow.
Yeah.
So if we're on one accord as husband and wives, and it's like, okay, wait a minute, let me see what he going. Okay, he on that. All right, cool. Let me see what I can bring to the table,
How I can assist.
while
Yeah.
I'm still getting myself together. Cause like, what's his vision? What's his goal? I'm not saying don't disregard your own vision or goal. And again, this goes for husband and wives. Like whatever the thing is, whatever that thing is, if you really want the marriage now, if you don't want the marriage, then like stop wasting time. But if you really want the marriage, I think what Shamika said is great. It's a great concept to do. How long do you do that? I don't know the answer to that question.
You know what? Wait. You know what, babe? I want to say too, because after you study your spouse, then I would even go on to say, and put yourself in their world. Like now you have to get in their world. So let's say if he let's say he enjoyed games like sporting games, whether it's basketball, football, golf,
Gotcha.
or whatever. Hey, maybe get him some tickets to go and see that, and go with him without nagging,
Hmm.
and look good while you going.
Hmm.
Smile, like have have what you call it, like get refreshments, like do the things to make it attractive and appealing, like you doing things that they are interested in.
Hmm.
So once you study and you find out what he or she enjoys, then make that thing happen. Get into their world. Maybe find the different shows and just sit and build relationship. Ask questions. Find out what their interests are and do that. And hopefully it will be reciprocated.
Yeah.
And now I don't know when it will be reciprocated, because first it's gonna be uh, uh, like a suspicious stare,
Yeah.
because it's kind of like, what you doing? Like, why you doing this? Like, you probably gonna get some pushback, like, get out, or
Hmm.
whatever. So, like, if you go in the man cave, make sure that you go looking sexy. Don't go in your grandma nightgown. Don't do that. You
And don't
got
go
to.
in the man cave if there's a bunch of men there. Just let the man cave be the man cave, you
Well,
know.
yeah, but if he in there by himself, make him know. Come on.
And here's the thing.
Ooh.
Well, here's here's a here's a good keynote. If he's in the man cave, 9 times out of 10, he probably want to be alone. All right. But let's say we not worried about that. Not worrying about that. If you go in the man cave and you sit with him, just sit with him. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't
Don't bring any outside stuff. No,
just
no,
sit there.
what we need, what we got. How was your day? Don't
Guys, even
ask.
for the flip side, guys, wherever she is, just sit there.
And
Like that
look at her.
that means a lot. Well, listen, hold on.
Admire her in her
Hold on,
world.
listen, cause you be saying stuff. I know what you're saying, baby. But if she's not, remember now,
Oh, that's true.
he's not on that.
Mm.
So just sit with her for a while,
And still go back to that
and
studying part.
you just gotta sit there and just like
You're so practical. I
and
love
then
it.
and then
Because I would
and
go
then
there.
work on it. Because if he gets there and he don't admire her the way she gonna be like, he don't look at me like right
She
now.
said that he should look at me. He don't look at
Right.
me like, mhm.
And he probably don't, because he doesn't
He genuinely not
he
interested.
he's generally not interested. So if you
Mm.
go into his world, you just sit there. If he goes into her world, just sit there and just be with them, not looking for anything, not asking for anything, and maybe serving. Maybe that's the thing. We're one of the mottos that we have for our church is we're servant leaders. Like serve. I'm talking about both parties. Now, again,
That is
it
something
take both
else
parties
there.
to make this thing work. So if it's is it lopsided? Is that right?
Lopsided.
I don't think that's right either.
Lopsided.
If it's
Lop.
if it's
Whichever.
one sided, then it's going to be difficult. But again, even for the one that's one sided, for the marriage that's one sided, I'm saying do everything you can to make it work. Everything. Everything you can
And
to
if
make it work. How long does it take before it works? I don't know, because I don't know if it's going to work. You said, well, then I put, no. You didn't waste your time because you said I do.
mm,
You didn't waste your time because you said I do before God and before everybody else. You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And so right there, Pat, I would like to say too, if for whatever reason you may find yourself in a space where you don't find a reason why for your spouse to hang in there, then this is where you say, you know what, this right here is unto God. Because I did vow to him. I may not want to do it for you, and I may not even think you deserving of it. But I did say that I would. And so, Lord, now I'm asking you to help me to serve the undeserving or the
Mm-hmm.
un whatever. Um,
And to add to that, and not a shameless plug, at 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 some point get counseling. At some point you have to go to counseling, which we, by the way, we do. And if you want to know how does it work, it's in the description box below. Please look at the description box below. We have a
and
free
email us.
consultation. We have free consultation. That's free. And then we'll sit down and we'll talk about how it goes and how much it's going to cost for the consultation. And yeah, and if
For the session.
for the sessions. And if that's something that you're looking for, email us, his wife, her husband, 97 at gmail.com. His wife, her husband, 97 at gmail.com. And listen, for our community, for our his wife, her husband family, all that we talked about, if you've been in this situation before, you've gone down this road, and you've done some things to help bring back that marriage in those 20 plus years, and it looked like it was going the wrong way, please tell us. Please put in the comment section what you did.
I was
Like
out.
to give some advice to help people, because we don't have all of the answers. We have something. We have some wisdom we can give, but we don't have all the answers to some of these issues, because some of these things we haven't gone through, and we're using um, the life of other people,
And the wisdom of God. Yeah.
right, to help navigate that. So if you've been through that and it was successful, what did you do to bring about that success for your marriage?
And I would even ask you to write in the description box too, there is hope. Just type, there is hope.
Hmm.
You know, especially with this episode. Like, there is hope. Like, you can get over it. You can overcome it. Like, it can change. Especially, like, you know, if you feel comfortable with sharing your story, definitely share your story. But yeah, if you can just get that source of encouragement, because what Patrick and I are learning is that people watch and people looking for hope. They looking for answers,
Hmm.
which is why we are showing up. And all of us, it take all of us coming together to do our part to encourage one another that you can go and you can grow. You
Yeah,
can grow in your marriage, and it can go on to higher heights. It can.
and deeper depths.
Uh huh.
Look, thank you guys for being a part of it. Anything else you want to say?
No,
All
just
right.
yeah. Mm-mm.
Hey, we appreciate everybody who is. I think we're at this point, as of today, we are two away from 600 subscribers. Please, if you have not subscribed to the video and you're watching this, please subscribe to the video. If you want to be a part of the
Subscribe to the
Patreon,
channel.
subscribe to the channel. If you want to be a part of the Patreon family, please do so. It's as little as $5 a month to be a part of the Patreon family. We are still working on some things behind the scenes, but we still have a few videos that they're called After the Conversation, which we kind of go a little bit deeper into some certain things. So if you want to be a part of that, and you can see that, you want to help us with the direction of the channel, being a part of the Patreon family allows you to be able to do that as well. So yeah, think about those things, and
And share the video too.
yeah,
Don't hesitate. Like,
yeah.
share
If
it,
you know somebody
share
who's,
it.
yeah,
Yeah, that's going through, and they need encouragement, because I think a lot of times, we hear more trauma and drama feel things,
hmm
versus ways to help people, navigate through.
yeah,
And so that's what life is all about. It's us helping each other to get through. And if for whatever reason it happens how it happens, like, it won't be said that we didn't show up to try to help.
yeah,
And so let's do our part to help uh, keep love in the home, and help us continue to thrive and live as
yeah,
God intended us to.
yeah. And if you got some foolishness in the comment section, I'm telling you right now, I'm taking it. We're taking it down. You know what I'm saying? So don't come with it. Just be respectful. Yep. Anyway, all right. Y'all take care. Love y'all.
Bye.